Before we begin, let's understand functional testing and why BaseRock AI makes a difference. Functional testing is about verifying that your application's features work as expected, ensuring that each function of the software meets business requirements. However, teams often face challenges like writing and maintaining test suites, creating synthetic data, setting up infrastructure, and executing tests at scale. This is where BaseRock AI helps. BaseRock is an autonomous QA platform that learns from multiple sources, automatically generates test cases and data, executes them in real environments, and augments them with your domain expertise, making QA faster, smarter, and highly efficient. In BaseRock, functional testing works seamlessly with multiple sources such as GitHub, GitLab, Postman, and OpenTelemetry. In this demo, we'll walk through an example using source code maintained on GitHub. Log into your BaseRock dashboard using your credentials. To start, create a connector. Click on Connectors and select Add Connector. Choose GitHub or Bitbucket, depending on where your code repository is hosted. Now provide read access to your repository. You can either select all repositories or choose a specific one. Here I'm selecting all repositories. Once authorized, your new connector will appear in the list. This will help BaseRock learn about your service. Next, let's create your service under Test. Go to the Services tab and click Add Service. Enter a name and description for your service. Select the connector you just created and choose the specific repository you want to use. The remaining fields are optional, but you can configure them if needed. Choose a branch if you want to test a specific version of your build. DevStack and integrations help BaseRock get more context about your system. Once the service is created, you'll see notifications as BaseRock analyzes your code and generates all the endpoints for you to test that can be of any technology, like HTTP, Kafka, GraphQL, and so on. Inside the service details, you can view service and repository information, upload requirement documents for more context, and explore the endpoints BaseRock has identified from your code. After this, you can see the rest of the details of the endpoints. You can also see predefined playbooks for all your endpoints, which can be used to provide additional context about your test prerequisites, validations, and post-testing instructions based on your testing strategy. For example, here before testing this post request, you can provide an instruction like shoot another endpoint and verify its response in simple plain English. Once the playbook is customized, save it. BaseRock automatically generates a complete test suite along with synthetic test data for your service, including positive and negative test cases. Positive cases are marked in green and negative cases in orange. You can drill down into each test case to see its logic and test data. Here you can see the request body that can be edited for business-specific payload if required. You can also add domain-specific verification steps on a test case level. For all the NLP used to define instructions get converted into actionable steps in this AI workflow steps section that can further be edited for more detailed control over the AI. You will be able to see versions of your service and perform version controlling too by adding a new version by yourself. You can create another version of your service from scratch or by using context from the existing version in the same way you created the service for the first time. For test case design, the user can delete any test case of their choice and regenerate a new test suite with domain-specific instructions in form of a prompt either in addition to your existing suite or from scratch by deleting what you have. For example, you can write a prompt like, create additional negative test cases that focus on security checks of this API. Once the test cases are generated by BaseRock, you can execute them by setting up the environment file where you have to update the name of the service you want to test, and the rest of the configuration will be specific to your project. Trigger the execution by running the file and wait for it to finish. Once the execution is over, you'll be able to generate a Jacoco report as well as the execution will be updated on BaseRock dashboard. This is how a report gets generated, but it is highly customizable, and you can ask us to customize the reporting structure later. As mentioned, you can also see the test results on BaseRock's dashboard. Just go to the service and click on the respective View Run section of the endpoint. You will be able to see the status of the test case execution on the very left. In this case, all the test cases have passed show with green tick. Further, you can even drill down to see the details of each run by clicking on respective View Details button. Now, in case if you want to filter out the test runs further as per your convenience, you can go to the Global Test Run section and add a filter based on your service name. If required, add other filter types too. Finally, can view the test run table by customizing the columns of your choice. This is how you can leverage BaseRock to also analyze your test results after execution.